Hey, what's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? A gracious good morning to you, good people. It's your girl KB. You know what I do, and you know why I do it. It's Tuesday morning. It is August 26th, and it is exactly 2:30 in the a.m. I mean, on the dot, 2:30. Let me just dive right into what I need to say. And notice the somewhat devilish smirk I have on my face. And it's there for a reason. It seems I upset a few folks. Because I made them think about something that they weren't prepared to think about. I want to just savor this moment. Let me just say that. They got a little butthurt, if you will, because I talked about the ability to rest in and be rooted in privilege. And then I talked about the fragility that's built into that privilege. Last week I talked about my mom's ability to code switch and the need for code switching. But that does not absolve my mother of some of her thoughts, her ultra conservative thoughts based on her parents' thoughts and her personal theology and, some of the things she had to go through for the sheer sake of survival. All that shaped and formed her opinions. And I shared that as she went to school and she awakened to real black history, I was right there with her reading her black lit books, while she was going to school. And I became and am still very militant and revolutionary in my belief system, to the point where, I'm the reason why we have rules. If you go with that saying that's on t-shirts, I'm the sibling that required prayer. And I just made a new sweatshirt that basically, it is what it is. I'm the sibling that will throw hands. I don't care how old I am. I'm that person on the video that'll say, "What did you say?" Want an individual to repeat what they said. And then there's no more conversation. Might be even fade to black. I'm that person. I'm saying all this to say, that people got upset. Oh, you're being divisive again. Oh, you're this, that, and the other. No, hate to break it to you. You're upset because you can't hide behind the veil anymore. I watched you. I've heard what you said. And I'll tell you a story about I heard what you said in a moment. But yeah, I just pulled back the curtain to the great and wonderful Oz, and now people are butthurt. Folks, I want you to pay attention just to who you are, just to your movements. I want you to understand that I cut you off because you gave me the scissors. I want you to understand I called stuff out because you displayed the behavior. And if you're following me for any length of time, you know I'll tell on myself in a minute. You've heard me say I'm surgical with the truth. First and foremost to myself. You know, I don't throw out the label racist without provocation. Let me be clear on that. I will give you a chance until you show me reasons not to. And I want to say this. So I know a lot of you are going to get upset again. There are a lot of folks who think they're subscribing to liberal thinking, but the moment they're challenged on what they presume to know about other cultures, the moment that somebody challenges them on, you know, I read a book, or I see your characters on TV, then you want to get hurt. Or then you want to truly display what you do know. And that's retreating into fragility and victimization, and then assuming the position of privilege yet again. And I'm going to use something that's in the news right now as case in point. Old Uncle Herschel. Now, some of you may know that name right off the bat. And I'm tickled by the name Uncle Herschel because I think of Herschel Walker in this context. You know how they have Uncle Ben? We had Uncle Herschel. And for those of you who aren't in the know, any older black gentleman that was basically master's pet dog, you know, or fetch it man, was given the title uncle. Now we had auntie and we had uncle. And those were alleged terms of acceptance. You know, you went from boy, a gal, to uncle or auntie. And if you had a name, which you usually did, you were rarely called it. Let me just get into Uncle Herschel. People are upset because gentrification, the kinder, softer side of things, has come to Cracker Barrel. Now, this political movement, this administration, is big on renaming things and bringing up icons of the Confederate South, you know, or teaching people that they have a place. That part. Yeah, I just need to stay here for a minute, let you think about it. So, you know, they wanted that, they being the powers that be, the administration, the gentrifiers, wanted a brand that was more recognizable and relatable. So they took old Uncle Herschel and the Cracker Barrel off their logo. And some folks are highly incensed and very upset. Have you asked why? because they want to hold on to the visualization of the Confederacy and the Southern traditions. I want you to think about way back when we had a restaurant that was so bold that it was named Sambo's. Yeah. And when I first moved to California, my uncle came to pick us up. My mother didn't have a car yet. That's a story for another day. My uncle came to pick us up, and he asked if we were hungry. No, let me correct that. That was our first visit to California. And we came, excuse me. We came, it was my mother, my sister, and me. We came to just hang out. And again, my uncle came to pick us up and asked if we were hungry. And he drove to a restaurant. Said, this is where we're going to eat. The restaurant was a Sambo's. I've never been that hungry. Needless to say, I stayed in the car. That is another story for another day as well, but people are upset about the name change for Cracker Barrel. And, well, not the name change, the logo change, I'm sorry. And they're not concerned about the symbolism of that Cracker Barrel. You just want Uncle Herschel back because he was kinfolk. And I mean that in a derogatory manner. All disrespect intended. He was kinfolk. The Cracker Barrel is a symbol of prosperous white landowners at the water cooler chit-chatting about their property, their slaves, and their profit. That was the place to congregate, in the general store over the Cracker Barrel. And people are saying they missed the folksy community connotations. Boy, that's a hell of a set of connotations. And you know what I have to say to the folks that are upset? Stay mad. But when in your anger, think about what I just told you.